sick, so it's been almost around 2 weeks since I posted the last one. So my, I guess, techniques for my fighting style are probably going to be rusty in this video, so I'm sorry, you know, if I don't use some of the moves from last time. So yeah, I had so many things happening for this whole week, and last week, like my school finals. So yeah, right now I'm currently in winter break. It's really nice. So I'm just gonna, I guess, continue with the storyline. Wait. Alright, conditions and objectives. Your opponent's attacks were poisonous, so defeat your opponent. So as long as I try my best not to let him get a hit on me, I should be fine. Alright, conditions and objectives. Critical edges do more damage and your soul gauge fills up more quickly. Defeat your opponent. So for this round, I can't take him out of the ring, so that's not an option. I have to defeat him, and it says critical edges or do more damage, so I have to keep that in mind. Alright, conditions and objectives. Your opponent high attacks do more damage, defeat them. Alright, so this is going to be really difficult. She's a level 42, so I'm going to bring food. So yeah, I had to repeat like the same boring technique with her because I don't have the luxury of doing fancy attacks with someone that's her level. So yeah.
Your soul surges in your body. A warrior stands in your way.
Alright, so conditions and objectives. Your opponent has reduced attack power but a set chance of crushing your guard on every hit. Defeat them. Alright, so this one is a little better for like level wise, but I still need to be careful. Conditions and objectives. Your opponent's attack have a set chance of being a counter hit. Defeat your opponent. Alright, so this one's another tough one. I have to be careful with this one also. So I am gonna bring a food. Alright, so I guess that wasn't necessary. I feel kind of bad for using that food because that was like a really high quality type of food. which would feel like it makes your soul dodge like feel faster, which you're able to, you know, oh my god, I forgot that word for the technique, but when your soul gauge is like fully, you know, filled up, you're able to, I guess, release your soul like energy, I guess, and you're able to use other more powerful moves, basically. Alright, your opponent's throws do more damage. Okay, this one looks like it's gonna be tough, so just for insurance, you know, that everything goes well. That's bad. Because I lost all my 6k dollars for the trip. See, this is the thing though about these little random, like, you know, matches, that if you lose one of them, no matter how many that you won, you start from the beginning. So see, I lost 6,420. This is weird though. I wonder why I can't, you know, like... It's like not letting me play the main actual storyline for some reason. Oh my god, there it goes. Okay, I feel dumb now. I guess I'll read. The Ming Empire and Europe are connected by a long winding trade route. I follow it west, traversing scorching sands and treacherous mountain ranges. Eventually, I arrived at the great city of Samarkand, a rich place where people from all over the world gather to trade goods and ideas. They say you can find anything here for a price. But even in Samarkand, some things are still hard to get. In the plaza in the center of the city, a group of people were gathered in front of a notice. I listened to the crowd chatter while moving over solutions to the riddle. Eventually, I hit upon the idea that this precious orb could be a pearl, and the castle will be the shell that protects it. A Korean weapons merchant I once met had told me about a rare food that Korea and Japan exported to the Ming Empire, dry abalone. Abalone shells are extremely tough, but inside they shine like a rainbow. Dry abalone is supposed to be quite a luxury item, but I doubt cost was an issue to the Lord. I should probably go see him if I ever find some. So I guess that this lord that they're talking about is obviously Raphael and Amy that they're referring to because, you know, Raphael is the only male in the whole storyline of Soul Calibur that has a child. So we're just gonna continue on with the main story. Samarkand, a city bustling with travelers and merchants. Here, Dion Natalie left us to meet with an informant who claimed to have information on the astral fissures. On my way to the market, I found my path blocked by a large crowd. An agitated man was shouting at the throngs of people. A lizard monster, a giant, and the Azure Knight, vowing to take care if I ended up heading west, I left the crowd behind. Not long after I met up with Gro, Dion and Natalie appeared. An unbearable pain lands through my head. I dropped to my knees, trying desperately to endure it. After a few moments, the agony faded. I nodded and slowly rose to my feet. Conditions and objectives. You have reduced health and your opponents have increased attack power. Defeat them all. Alright, so they're level 20. Alright. Do I want to bring food? I'm gonna try without food first, and let's see how it goes. As we made our way to the astral fissure, Dion leaned over and whispered to Gro. We readied our weapon. Moments later, Malfested soldiers charged out of the darkness around us. A Malfested I thought defeated stood up and swung its sword at me. I tried to defend myself, but I stumbled as my head exploded in pain. Before the Malfested strike could land, the creature froze. A moment later, it crumpled quietly to the ground. A woman stood behind where the creature had been. And with that, she disappeared into the darkness. Conditions and objectives. You have reduced health, and your opponent's attacks reduce your guard gauge more. Defeat your opponent. The stage rings out disabled, so I can't take them out of the ring. How many enemies do I have? Just one enemy. Alright. Do I want to bring a food? I don't think I'm gonna bring a food. The intense pain in my head was making it hard to stand. It took me a moment to realize Gro was looking at me. Suddenly, with a great roar, a pair of berserkers emerged from within the astral fissure. Without a trace of fear, Gro stepped forward and drew his weapon. I stepped to his side and drew mine as well.
Battle 1. Fight!
Once I absorbed the astral fissure's power, the pain in my head abated. I nodded.
Your soul surges in your body.
Alright, conditions and objectives defeat your opponent, so there's no special conditions or for the stage. I found myself unable to sleep that night, so I decided to take a walk. A short distance from camp, I sensed someone hiding in the darkness of the forest. I tensed, expecting an enemy, but it was the woman who had helped us earlier that emerged from the shadows. She had witnessed me taking care of the astral fissure. I knew I needed to tread carefully here.
Battle 1. Fight!
You fight for good or evil. Not good enough.
Battle 2. Fight!
You leave me no choice.
Fight!
Leave this place. No escape. Leave this place. Stand up. I'm going all out. You are a danger. Come.
She glanced at the forest behind her. With that, she disappeared back into the darkness. Moments later, Grow stepped into view. I told him that wasn't exactly reassuring. Suddenly I realized I hadn't thanked Girl for saving me from the Malfested earlier. I quickly did so. I awoke the next morning to the sound of Girl's voice. I hurriedly jumped up and followed Girl as he stalked off. Startled by his sudden request, I asked him what he intended to do. Girl let out a sigh. The surrounding air suddenly grew tense. Gro was giving off the same power he had shown before. I began to doubt his commitment to not putting me in harm's way.
Battle 1. Fight! Take this!
Tough enough?
You made it! Take it! Bleed! Battle 2. Fight!
Tough enough? I'm going all out! Sometimes one must be daring. We're open to the...
I shall give my battle! Fight!
Tough enough? This is fast! Too easy!
You will be erased! It ends here! Curse your weakness! Receive!
Watch this! My ult! This ends now! Is that all?
Sword you The soul of a warrior now lays here to rest.
So I lost, so I'm just gonna rematch. I'm gonna try one more rematch. It was a close call. So I feel confident I can beat him if I try better.
Battle 1. Fight!
Tough enough?
Reckless!
Sometimes one must be daring.
I must
Tough enough?
I'm not done yet! Fight!
That was a close call. I was close to like losing. As Girl lowered his weapon, the intense air around him slowly settled. It seemed as though my test was over. I watched Girl while he molded things over it, and thought of Dion and Natalie. I wonder where they were and how troubled they would be if they happened to see Grow's strange power. It was almost as if Grow had read my mind. It appeared the test wasn't over after all. As I hurriedly readied my weapon, I noticed that Grow seemed somewhat more at ease this time. My training with Grow would continue for some time, ultimately lasting until Dion and Natalie made their return. Conditions and objectives. Your opponent middle attacks more damage, and their health recovers when they perform a guard impact. Defeat them. Alright, so I just have to continue to attack them, I guess. With no break, I guess. Conditions and objectives. You start the battle with 2 bars of your Soul Gauge filled. Defeat all opponents.
surges in your body.
Vigo Systemus. From what Gro and the others had told me, they were a mad cult who worshipped a nefarious god called Pelgaea. They were both cruel and brutal, and delighted in human sacrifice. According to Dion and Natalie's information, there were 3 cultists nearby. The first was a high priest living in the village up ahead. The second was a swordsman who once worked for the cult as a mercenary. The third was a merchant who transported goods for the cult. The high priest was known to be a talented martial artist and had an elite bodyguard on hand. The swordman was alone, but a warrior of great repute. The swordsman was alone. The merchant had scores of guards, but none was particularly noteworthy. Each will likely provide us with a different type of information. Alright, so for this, I think this option right here is kind of important because I think if I pick one, I'm able to actually meet Raphael. So, give me 1 second. Hold up, give me a little second. I'm sorry. I just really want to see Raphael so badly, so that's why, you know. Damn it, I know that there was like a little like page where they had said which one it was. Let's see. So the first option is target the High Priest in hope of gaining valuable information despite the difficulty. Target the Swordsman as a compromise between information quality and ease of capture. And target the relatively defenseless merchant for a quick and easy source of information. So obviously I don't want to go for the easy one. It has to be either the High Priest or the Swordsman. Hold up, I'm still trying to decide. Oh lord. Okay, so let me see. I have to make this choice now, I guess. Let's see. I guess the Swordsman. Conditions and objectives. Your opponent's counter hits do more damage. Alright, so I think I can handle this situation. The swordsman told us that many guards had been stationed beneath the temple recently. Our efforts helped us ascertain the location of the astral fissure and the Figo Sestimus temple. We leaped out from the shadows, attracting the attention of Daniel and Baltro. Daniel disappeared, leaving his companion behind. Baltro sunk his weapon widely around himself. His breathing ragged and his eyes filled with a mad blood loss. There was no indication he was going to tire anytime soon. As Baltro and Grove clashed, I ran for the astral fissure, the sounds of battle echoing behind me. Conditions and objectives. Your opponent's health and attack's power have been increased, but their health depletes over time. Defeat them. I'm gonna bring up food. Haswell stopped suddenly, and a shield appeared in front of him, deflecting a surprise attack from the newest intruder in his temple. The spear Aswell produced from thin air would have skewered Salsalamil's body had he not evaded it. Aswell summoned another blade, and I hurled it at Salsalamil, who casually deflected it before striding away. Baltro hurtled through the entrance, followed shortly after by Grow. Aswell placed his left hand on Baltro. The man shook her violently, then let out a blood-curdling scream. Evil power exploded out from Baltro, whipping up a fierce wind.
Battle 1. Fight!
Too easy! Can you dodge this? We're open to this. Tough enough?
KO! Battle 2. Fight!
Tough enough? Tough enough? Tough enough? This is that! Too easy! I'm not done!
Final battle. Fight!
The building shook violently, and with a rumble the roof began to cave in. Gasping, Baltra rose to his feet and pointed his weapon at us. Baltra charged, but Gross struck him down. His wounds should have been mortal, but he rose to his feet and pointed his weapon at us once more. Baltra took a shaky step towards us and collapsed in a heap. Gro looked down at the fallen warrior for a moment, then turned away. Baltra's screams were swallowed up by the crashing of fallen masonry. Gro and I made our escape, dodging between chunks of falling debris.
Your soul surges in your body.
Once we had escaped the crumbling temple, we met back up with Dion and Natalie. As we were discussing what to do next, a messenger from the Able organization appeared. Gro read through the latest set of orders. And with that, Gro left. We watched him go and then began formulating our plan of action. It is rumored that the Azure Knight haunts the lands to the northwest, slaughtering all he meets. To the west, the road is comparatively safe. Along the way, we decided to stop at a village to replenish our supplies and gather information. I quickly restocked my provisions and headed to the boisterous tavern. A man soared through the air, cutting our conversation short. He slammed into the floor by the entrance and lay still. From the back of the tavern appeared none other than Maxie. It looked like Maxie was the cause of the commotion. I greeted him, then asked what had happened. Apparently, some hoodlum had been causing trouble for one of the barmaids. Who should appear next but Killick, followed by a spirited young girl. It was a strange turn of events. Still, I thought it was best to leave before we caused any more trouble. Judging by the twitchy smiles on the face of the staff, it was a good idea. Once we had celebrated our reunion, I asked them why they were here, and their smiles quickly faded. The word revenge made my stomach lurch. What had happened to Kiam and the others? Maxie continued on with a troubled expression. His words shocked me to the core. All of them gone. Maxie's expression was dark and filled with rage, but I had no words to ease his pain. He clapped his hands, breaking the tension that had fallen over us. As we all talked and laughed, Natalie appeared from the town, frowning deeply. We said our farewells, and the still fuming Natalie dragged me out of town. I nodded to Natalie and then handed some food to Miss Tsurugi. Natalie watched, carefully assessing the situation. I asked Mr. Tsurugi what he had been up to since we last met.
begins here!
Battle 4. Fight!
Tough enough? Come back!
Cuts!
I'm going all out!
Ring out! Final battle. Fight!
Ready? Mercy! I have none!
I'm going all out!
Ready?
Natalie's heart was troubled as she reflected on everything that had happened since she began her pursuit of Aswell. Conditions and objectives. Defeat your opponents, so no ring outs for the stage, nothing like that. Alright, so let's do it. Oh, okay, so I believe this little chapter is where Geralt from The Witch and the Hunter, I think, game comes in. If I remember, I did have a lot of like issues trying to defeat him. It was a really hard battle. Ignoring Natalie's orders, Mitsurugi sprinted off. Left with little choice, I quickly followed.
That how you greet folk in this world? He blocked that. Come take me on. Crap like this. Exactly why I hate portals. Come on! What the? This is strange sorcery.
He's not bad with a sword. But I'm not the one he seems interested in.
Mystery opponent. Who are you? Sure as hell don't look like you ride with the hunt. Yet your power's clearly not human either.
That's disappointing. Sooner or later, I will face you in battle. Just you wait.
Fine. For now, Let's see what you're made of.
Alright, this is gonna be hard. Oh lord.
Battle 1. Fight!
This isn't the show.
I'm going all out. I'm going all out.
Battle 2. Fight!
Too easy.
Alright, so with him, I don't have the luxury of doing like fancy moves.
Too easy.
Battle 3. Fight!
Alright, this is the first time I defeat Geralt in like the first try. It's a miracle I actually won. Like the first time I literally tried this like 100 times. I kept losing. It was hard.
Your soul surges in your body.
With the fight over, I thrust my hands into the astral fissure to claim its power. With a sigh, the strange man turned and began walking away. The man made a sudden sharp gesture towards Mitsurugi, his fingers tracing a symbol in the air. Instantly, the samurai's movements became sluggish. Geralt turned and walked away, leaving Mitsurugi bound by the strange power. With a burst of strength, Mitsurugi broke through the invisible bonds holding him. Mitsurugi hurried off after Geralt just as Natalie returned. I quickly explained what had happened. Alright, so I think this is where I'm gonna stop my Soul Calibur 6 Libra Soul playthrough. Let's see. I might post a video. I'm not gonna say when, soon, again. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, well, you know, good. If you didn't, well, too bad. Alright, so